Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. I've always been a fan of kind of the nose to tail concept when it comes to eating meat. I think it's a shame that we leave a lot of cuts, only to make sausages or dog food or cat food or whatever, because I think pretty much every piece of the animal has something to offer. And today we're kind of living that concept. As you can see here on the board, we're making something with beef heart. We're making a beef heart tartare. So it's raw beef heart. We're serving it with some olive oil, with a bit of Ramsons, because it's, well, my daughter just picked them outside of where we live. Basically, it's season now. So spring garlic, some hazelnuts, and that's pretty much it. So it's really simple. You have three kind of main ingredients and some olive oil and salt for seasoning and texture. So let's start cooking. But before we do, as always, please click on the subscribe button. Also check the little bell icon if you want to get updated when new content comes online. But now let's start. So we'll start with the heart. It's probably the leanest cut of meat that you have on an animal, because it's the muscle that's always working. It's always moving. Normally when you get it, it's cut, because they always do like tests on the heart. So there will be a cut in it, but don't worry about it. But we'll split this down into some smaller pieces. And all you need to do, I mean, you see here it's perfect meat. You just kind of want to get rid of the fat and kind of gray top part. And it's not difficult. It just takes a bit of time. But make sure you get rid of all of it, because it's not so nice in your mouth when you chew on it. And on the underside, you see as well these things here that look like maggots. It's just not very tasty, but it's just blood vessels basically. Probably not even, probably something else. I'm sure someone better versed in the anatomy of animals or hearts in general can let us know what that is in the comments. But not so important what it is. The importance is you need to cut it off. So we're basically done with cleaning the meat. As you can see here, everything is gone. It's just the nice muscle meat left. And now what we have to do is to chop it up for our tartare. Try to line them up more or less. So what we'll do is we'll cut up all the meat to look like this, and then we'll go over it with a cleaver to kind of chop it up a bit finer. I don't want it really fine, but a bit finer than this. So we're done with the slicing and kind of cutting it into smaller cubes. It's time to chop it up. As you can see, I changed the cutting board because this is harder. The other board would have probably broken a bit. This is going to be loud, so I will probably fast forward. Now, this is how I like it. If you like it finer, go ahead and make it finer. But I kind of want to be able to have some texture, not just a meat, well, basically minced meat. I want a bit of texture. So this is fine for me. We'll put this in a bowl. Get rid of the knife and the cutting board. The next thing we'll do is we'll chop the Ramsons. We can take the stalks off. Just chop finely. It's difficult to get used to this new camera setting. I'm always a bit worried that my cap is kind of in the way, but I hope you can see everything fine. Now this we can put together with our meat as well. I always feel like half of the work when you're cooking is actually cleaning. Now let's season this up, put some olive oil over it. 2 good pinches, maybe 3 good pinches of salt. And I'm gonna mix this up. You can already smell the Ramsons. This kind of light garlicky smell. Wonderful. And it's also nice to know that you're actually using something that you picked just outside where you live. Give it a little taste. Salt is good, Ramsons is good. Put a little bit more olive oil. And you're probably thinking, what, but he forgot the hazelnuts. No, they just come on top. So put this away for now. And the only thing you need to do with a hazelnut is basically crush them. So we take the big cleaver. Well, it's not really a cleaver, it's called a Serbian chef's knife. But I use it more as a cleaver because it's too big to kind of do fine things with it. So you just hit down on it with your hand, like that. And then you can go over it. You don't want it super fine. I mean, you still want to be able to feel the crunch. So this is perfect for me. Put this in a separate bowl. We're ready to plate it. I have one of these rings. It kind of helps. You put some of your heart tartare in here. That should be a good portion. Press it down a little bit. Like so. We take some of the hazelnuts. Not too much, not too little. About that is a good portion. Then we can take this off. As you can see, I also had some dandelion leaves that I put on. Just gives it a white kind of look. They also taste quite nice. And now we can eat it. I just love it. Some people think, oh, heart, you can't eat that, but it's great. It's a really nice cut of meat. It's such a lean muscle. It has a bit of a bite to it, and that together with the bite of the hazelnut is perfect. It's very different kind of consistencies, but it works together. And kind of slight hint of garlic from the Ramsons, the olive oil and the salt, perfect. Now the flower leaves, they don't really add anything, but hey, it looks nice. So, and I had them, so why not put them on? This is a perfect starter. I'm sure most people that you would serve this to, and you wouldn't tell them what cut of meat it would be, they would never guess it was heart. They would never think it was not nice. My daughter is 10 years old. She's a bit squeamish about these kind of special cuts. But I gave this to her. I didn't tell her what meat it was. She loved it. Only afterwards did I tell her it was heart, and then she didn't love it as much, but she still thought it tasted good. As you can see, you know, there's so many cuts that you can use. Just go explore, you know, go to your butcher, ask him what special cuts does he have, and just buy it and try it out. I mean, the heart is probably the pound for pound the cheapest meat you can buy of the beef, and it's really good. As always, if you stuck with me this long, there was probably something you liked about the video. Please do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, click the like button below, and if you haven't done so yet, the subscribe button. That's it for this time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.